Good evening, everyone. I hope all is well. I hope you guys are well rested or well relaxed. If you guys are still up, it is Sunday, August 9th, 2020. So, just a small little snippet of things. I try to do these little things every night. I'm a nightly person, I'm a night owl. So, I do these things. Even though I do wake up early in the daytime, I wake up before 10. But I do these little things here and there at night because I catch all my daytime stuff. So here we are. COVID-19. I wrote it here according to the Johns Hopkins website. So the cases around the globe, you're at 19,780,612. Here at home in the US, we are at 5,044,769 cases of COVID-19, with our death toll sitting at 162,938. And we don't have a coordinated strategy to combat this thing. I said this every night. I say this every day on my Instagram Live. We have no national strategy to combat this thing. Because why? Because we have a competent leader in this country that don't know science, that don't even know glossary, don't know anything of government, but saying everything is rigged. I mean, come on. But then you have people that still support him, which I'm going to get to that part in a minute, in the next probably couple minutes. But this is where we are. He signed some dumbass executive order talking about, I'm going to give $400 for extended the extra money that $600 was proposed in the HEROES Act. All he did this because the Democratic Party want to give state aid to all state governments, not blue states, state governments. All 50 states. And Donald Trump is making up shit up out of his ass, talking about, the Democrats want to say blue states that's been run badly for years. If you're talking about New York, where you're from, where you just moved from down to Florida, it was run bad by your friend, Rudy Giuliani, who had the worst administration that was not friends to black people. And Bloomberg followed those footsteps because he came in as a Republican and left as an independent, but he did some messed up shit too. So if you thinking about it's messed up by de Blasio, things were fucked up before he came in. Even though things ain't looking as okay, but the whole state is run way better than the way you run in the country. You need some tips? Just talk to the Italian guy that sits in Albany. Obviously, he don't want to talk to your ass. But that's where we are with COVID. And it's not going to get better. And I have a feeling we might reach 6 million within a month. If these kids are going back to school, we're going to reach 6 million maybe in a couple weeks. Look, it took us 3.5 weeks to reach 5 million. Here we are. 5 million cases. The most cases on the globe. Not a big ass population compared to China. And China's under 100,000, or maybe at 100,000. They have this shit under control. Spain, France, Italy, who had the worst COVID situations, and they don't even have a fourth of what we have. They still in the 200s. While the United States is at 5 million sick people, almost 163,000 people dead. Great. So much for winning, Donald Trump. Anyway, I want to talk about the beefsteaks. The beefsteaks is a real big thing. It's a thing. So I'm just going to go to this article that I saw from the 19th by Erin Haynes, who is an incredible journalist. I'm so glad they're giving her. She deserves it. I want to read an expert. because it came from a particular, I forgot her name. I'm going to read it. It's really good. Leah Daltrey. Daltrey. Sorry to mess up your name, girl. My bad. She's the chief executive officer of the Democratic National Convention from 2008 and 2016. She basically did a Facebook Live, and she said this in her thing. I don't have the strength to carry two white people across the finish line in November. For me, it's raised again the specter that we live every day as Black women of being judged by and held to a different standard, despite the fact that we are qualified and that we are the highest propensity voters in the nation. I think I pronounced that word wrong. As a college educated person, my bad. Where did I just read from? Ooh, oh, my eyes. And she's calling the current tone Madden. She's right. Who wants to carry two white people in the most diverse political party across the finish line? See, this is where the Democrat Party always F up at, right? We have a lot of competent politicians who are African American, who are women. And we can't even get them. We only have one Black woman in the Senate who is way qualified to be the VP, more than all the candidates being vetted. And we go for a governor from Michigan or another white senator from Massachusetts or from Minnesota. Or and there's no disrespect to Lujan, or an unknown governor from Nevada. Like, come on. Seriously? Seriously. We have to do better as a party. We have to, because Black women are the biggest voting bloc of the Democratic Party. And yet, we're having this fucking problem again. Like, a very severe fucking problem again. I don't fucking understand why we're having this fucking problem. Make no fucking sense. And excuse me for my French, but I'm tired. I was talking to my dad today when he came down to see me, saw me, and I told him who I wanted. I told him the reasons why I don't want Susan Rice. As much as I have respect for Ambassador Rice. Ambassador Rice got some baggage. Not just Benghazi, but your son is a Trump supporter, ma'am. He's a whole ass Trump supporter. And everybody's saying Kamala should be the AG. I'm going to need for y'all to stop that shit. I'm tired of that shit. I have played the video time and time again. But those who know, who need to know, I'll play it again. So here we are. Just gonna scroll this bad boy up, because I'm getting tired of the crap.
Like some others, but you don't seem to be actively campaigning for it. So I need to ask you, do you want to be his running mate? Would you rather be, I don't know, Attorney General in a Biden administration? What are your thoughts on all of this?
Well, I've already been Attorney General for 2 terms. I was very honored to serve, and I ran the second largest Department of Justice in the United States. But I would be honored, obviously, if I were asked to serve as Vice President. There's no question about that. I'd be honored to serve with Joe Biden. And
Kamala does not want to be your fucking AG. She does not want to clean up a mess. What she needs to do is serve in the executive branch that she's known to do when she was an attorney general back in California, as she said, and ran the second largest DOJ department, the DOJ in the country. So I'm going to need for these little moderates and some of these progressives with white fragility, and even some of these quote unquote, they're black deputies, to fucking stop. You don't got nothing nice to say? Just shut the fuck up and move right along. Lastly, let's talk about this Trump supporter, this one of these guys for Black Voices for Trump. Let's look him up to see what his whole title is. I know his name is Vernon Jones, but what he does. Let's see what he does for a whole ass living. He is the Georgia State Representative of the Democrat Party and former county executive who is now part of the Black Voices for Trump. One of the representatives. So, he was on Politics Nation, which is Al Sharpton's show on MSNBC, and he was basically talking about why African Americans should consider Donald Trump over Joe Biden with all the racist shit that Donald Trump says. So I'm going to pull up one of the sound bites from the interview, and trust me, it was very bizarre. Like, bizarre. To the point where it was just, really crazy. So, here we are.
Explain to me why anybody would, in any way, shape, or form, get by the racism and bigotry of Donald Trump.
Well, first of all, when I compared it to Donald Trump and Joe Biden wrote the crime bill that incarcerated masses
That Donald Trump supports him.
Let me finish, if I can, Charlton. Joe Biden passed a crime bill that took away black men and women from their families, destroyed a whole generation of African Americans. And what I like about Donald Trump, he came back with prison reform and released many of those, thousands of those same black men and women that Joe Biden put in jail.
Now, wait a minute, let's stop right there. Thousands? I think it was the Obama-Biden administration that committed more sentences of anybody in the last 11 presidents, and many of them were black. And I think that that's a matter of record, that Biden said that there was unintentional consequences, that we were right, those of us that protested in the 94. President Trump has said now he supports stop and frisk and many of the things that has caused that. And I don't see the thousands that he left, what thousands that he's let go, and compare that to the number of the Obama-Biden administration. Go ahead.
First of all, you can check your records, and I can check mine. My facts tell me that under the Trump administration, the First Step Act that was passed, that allowed black men and women to get out of jail, non-violent offenses, to go back and be restored with their families. There are a lot more of them that were released than under the previous administration. Remember, Obama had 8 years. This president has had only 3.5 years, and he has actually let out more and commuted more than Joe Biden. Brethren, let me finish, because you can show me your facts, I can show you my facts. But every time I get ready to say something, I get cut off. So you can disagree with me, just let me finish.
Joe Biden finished. I just didn't want you to give me the history of the Democratic Party when I asked you about this president. Go ahead.
That's the whole problem. Nobody wants to give the history of the Democratic Party.
But that's not the history. If the Democratic Party was the entire most bigoted party in the world, it doesn't.
Okay. So, let's just take a breather. Vernon Jones have announced, I think a couple months back, that he is supporting Donald Trump. He had a whole statement of why, which, okay, that's fine. I have no issues with anybody supporting openly bigoted Queen's sewage rap, because I was looking for that, because I always use that, who has con and grifted people. I have no problem. That's your prerogative. What I have a problem with is the fact is that when your facts are wrong. So the First Step Act was actually introduced in 2015 by Hakeem Jeffries and another sitting congressperson, which is Senator Dick Durbin of Illinois. That's one. It wasn't passed under Mitch McConnell because Mitch McConnell did not want any achievements under the first African American president, which is Barack Obama. Since this sewage rat has slithered his way in with the help of Vladimir Putin, this act is passed and is signed into law. But it's not fully invoked because there was not that many people that sentences were commuted. There were a few people, it was only 300 people that were released under this. There are multiple reports saying that the First Step Act was not fully invoked. This woman, what's her name? I don't think she got out. One of the Kardashian friends, I forgot what her name is, Cynthia something, was not released under the First Step Act. She was released because there was a conversation between Kim Kardashian West and Donald Trump. And it was a picture. She did a photo op with the Queen sewage rat. So there you have it. In terms of the crime bill, yes, the Democrats and Republicans voted for the crime bill. Both parties, it was a bipartisan thing. And believe it or not, black people like Vernon Jones, maybe Vernon Jones probably forgot, but he was probably a supporter of the crime bill. Because there were black Democrats that supported the crime bill. We all know Al Sharpton was against the crime bill because he was one of the activists in New York. I grew up watching him advocate for people in my neighborhood in Harlem and throughout New York City. And yes, the Democrat Party was racist back then. But it had changed since the Civil Rights Movement. Because you had Southern Democrats who were remotely racist. And Northern Republicans. Oh, Vernon Jones, you have forgot about that, my G. But let me break it down to you. This is the last part of the interview. That really stunned the fuck out of me.
How do you excuse Trump saying right now that he's Bloomberg said we need to throw blacks and browns against the wall and frisk them down? That's not the man that marched against that. Absolutely. Bloomberg is not who we're talking about. We're talking about Donald Trump. I marched against Bloomberg, and I'm dealing with Donald Trump supporters stop and frisk. I'm correct about Bloomberg. How do you have one measure stick for Bloomberg and another for Trump?
How do you have one measure for Republicans and another for Democrats?
I'm talking about Trump. I'm talking about
anything out of Democrats.
I'm talking about Trump.
Trump has done a good job of opportunity zone districts. Trump has done a good job of lowering the unemployment for African Americans. He's done a good job of small business, stuff like business. Trump has a solid record. Joe Biden said 49 years, and he hasn't done a doggone thing for black people. He just said recently this week that
let me ask you a question. We will do all our fact checking and investigation. Let me ask you a question. If all that is true, Mr. Johns, we're going to run out of time. Why are you still a Democrat? Why are you still a Democrat? If the Democrats are always claiming, why are you still a Democrat?
Let me answer. Because I want to unveil the negative ways and all the things they do in the Democratic community, liberals against blacks who are conservative or independent thinking, or just black in general. They think they could be your mom and dad, tell you what to do, when to do it, and you're supposed to fall in line with them. I don't fall in line with them, Rep. I want to have the fact that my name is like this. But let me tell you something.
If I was in a relationship that was wrong, I don't hit somebody that is wrong. And that's where we disagree. I'm not going to there.
So that's what I asked when I watched that whole entire bizarre, bullshit ass interview. But hats off to Al Sharpton for just being so pastoral, but still keeping it G from Brooklyn. And yes, I love my Brooklyn people, even though I'm from Harlem, but I love my Brooklyn people. Don't get me wrong, because I know a couple people from Brooklyn. I used to mess with dudes in Brooklyn. But yeah, so anyway, I'm very, very happy that Al Sharpton checked him. Because first of all, let me tell you something about this Vernon Jones dude. Blacks and liberals. First of all, there are liberals that are black. That's one. Free-thinking people, there are black people that are liberals that are free-thinking people. I mean, we're not a fucking monolith, for crying out loud. Yes, there's black conservatives in the Republican Party or independents, but in terms of the Democrat Party, there are a lot that are pragmatic progressives. There are some that are moderate, and there are some that are liberals, and the far actual liberal lefties left. And yes, sometimes we all don't have the same thinking. But at the same time, we all think we have in common. We're not going to support a fucking racist. Let's make that clear. Except this guy, who clearly stands for more, not even moderate Republican views, like far right Republicanism. Like almost like a Tea Party black dude. He's like a Nigel Ennis. Which Nigel Ennis once upon a time was a liberal Democrat, right? So, Vernon Jones, you, Bruce Lavelle, Angela Stanton King, Harris Dennard, Candace Owens, Brandon Tatum, y'all can take y'all little funky asses somewhere and kiss it where the sunshine don't miss it, because we don't need to kiss y'all funky dookie ass along with your resident. But as I said, folks, you got to keep our eyes on the prize. And for you, Mr. Biden, I hope your people are listening. I hope your supporters are watching. Even some of your black supporters, sometimes I want to punch them in the face. Pick a black woman as a VP. And you know who your pick is. You know who she is. Because y'all sparred in the first debate. Don't be stupid. And don't fuck it up, as RuPaul said. Then